Hey there folks, this is Random Game Channel again. I have another gameplay tips video for you. So in this episode I have 5 Ranger gameplay tips that I hope can help you improve your gameplay. Alright, so just like always, the first kind of gameplay tip I'll go over is the loadout. Alright, so let's start with the primary weapon. So for my primary, I actually like using the Merida Mark I carbine. It's a pretty good weapon that has a lot of stagger on it compared to the other weapons besides the shotgun, which you can see it doesn't have any stagger, but the stun is like set to maximum. Now the reason why I don't like using this shotgun is because it takes way too long to reload it. Better off using something else. And the reason why I don't like using the Merida Mark I is because if you look here, the stagger value is a lot smaller than the one it has for the carbine here, which is pretty much double its value. And for the SMG, I tried playing with it. I just couldn't, find myself having a lot of fun with this gun. So, I've seen a lot of people use it, a lot of people like it, but for me, it's not really my style, I guess. And it doesn't really have that much stagger as well. So, that was just my thoughts. You're free to use anything you like, do what you think is fun for you. That's most important. But coming back to the carbine, the stuff that I like to use on it is the reflex sight. It just helps me see a little bit better. The compensator is really good because it'll just help you with the recoil. So if you need to shoot something at kind of a longer range, the compensator is going to help you control that recoil. Especially if you need to shoot something really quick burst, or if you need to just hold down the trigger, this thing will help out a lot. The last little modification that I like to use is the extended magazine. It just means you're reloading less and you can shoot for longer. This is just really good for the carbine because with this class you're going to be kind of jumping around a lot with the boost jets. You're going to be a pretty mobile character, and you're going to be zipping around, engaging in fights, and you want to utilize the carbine's stagger to help troopers not get overwhelmed by other bugs. And it'll help you survive a little bit longer if you happen to find yourself in kind of like a 1v1 scenario with a bug. This stagger thing will just really save your butt. So these are the reasons why I like the carbine. But again, you can use any weapon you like. The next one is the Emancipator for my secondary weapon. I don't think I've ever really liked using the Peacemaker. It just doesn't hit hard enough. As you can see here, the damage isn't as high as the Emancipators here, but it makes up for it by being able to, shoot faster and a little bit more accurate than the Emancipator. But again, that's totally preference. It's up to you. Use what you like. Use what you think is going to be fun for you. But if you're going to use the Emancipator, there's a couple things that you should try to unlock right away. First one is going to be, of course, the reflex sight. These things are always going to make it a lot easier to see around when you're aiming down sight. And the next one is the extended magazines. This one, I believe it gives you 12 shots. don't quote me on that one, but you know, when you have it unlocked, check it out. It'll give you enough rounds to keep you going. I haven't unlocked everything yet for it, but these are like the bare essentials that I think you would need to be able to, you know, use this pistol effectively. So the reason why I like the Emancipator more than the Peacemaker is because it just has a great stun value here. It's like set all the way to the max. The stun will just pretty much force the bug to kind of just like sit down for a second. So that'll give you enough time to like get out of there, or if you're trying to help another trooper out, this will allow them to retreat, reload, and heal up, because the stun is going to like knock them on the butt pretty much. And it has a pretty good range and damage. Like if you see a gunner bug at long range, this thing can hit it reliably. I find it's a little bit harder to do that with a Peacemaker. As you can see, the range is a lot shorter. And overall, I just prefer this one. But of course, you know, use what you think is going to be fun for you. Alright, so the utilities, there's only really 3 options, but the one that I like using is the scan pulse and what's this, the scan beacon here. So with the scan pulse, for this kind of build, I'm trying to make it more like a support role. What do I mean by support, right? There's a lot of different, like, you know, gizmos and gadgets and abilities that when you scan a bug, it does something. So for this particular build, I like using the scan pulse because it'll just constantly scan for nearby bugs. Pretty useful if it's in a low light setting, like, you know, if you're in a tunnel or if you're like in a pitch black mode. This is going to help kind of like highlight bugs around you. It'll not only help you, but it also helps the other troopers that you're playing with in the game. Now the next one is the scan beacon. This device, you just kind of set it out on the field and it'll just like constantly scan around in close proximity to itself, and any bug that gets scanned will take additional damage, which is really great. So I like using this you know, on the perimeter of an objective, and it kind of serves as like an early warning system for myself and the other troopers. So it's a pretty good utility, and I like it. Now the last one, the rally beacon, I haven't really made good use of it yet. It just allows you to put down a different location that troopers can spawn on. Now it's not to say like it's completely useless. Like, you might want to consider using this if you're going to be going to Agni Prime, because let's be honest, we all know that occasionally, sometimes commonly, the game is going to just spawn a ton of Inferno bugs, and they're always going to be attacking the spawn bunker relentlessly. So the idea is, if you go to Agni Prime, you want to equip this, or consider equipping it. Hopefully when you spawn down there, there's a medic that will give you some stim packs. So you take those, run out the bunker with your boost jets. You're going to catch on fire, but you're going to heal yourself up with the stim, and you just run as far as you can. So the idea is that there's going to be some sacrificing at the start. Some of the reinforcement tickets are going to get burned up by the inferno bugs, but the idea is that once you get into a good spot to deploy the rally beacon, anyone that does die at that point can just spawn on the rally beacon. So that's just an idea I've been kind of toying around with. It's worth trying out. I personally never done that myself, but that's just my idea that I've been kind of playing around with, and I might try it out if I go to Agni Prime again and there's like a ton of Inferno bugs there, because we all know that when that happens it's just so annoying. It's pretty much going to be a dead game if the troopers can't move out, right? So that might actually be a workaround that a ranger can try if you're going to go to Agni Prime. Alright, so moving on to the perks. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 perks. But there's some that I prefer to use over, the other ones. So the first one that I don't really use is the Magazine Bandolier. I just feel like this is nice to have, but it can get passed up for the other things that we have available to us as a ranger. A utility satchel. Again, it's nice to have, but you're already going to be carrying a lot of equipment with you, and the chance to reload is going to happen pretty often, so you don't need to worry about running out of ammo or running out of your utilities unless you're like really being aggressive. Again, these are just like my thoughts and opinions. You're free to use whatever you like. So the stuff that I do prefer to use is the trauma auto injector. So what this does is that pretty much when you are like at critical health, like you're just about to die, right? You temporarily become invulnerable and your movement speed increases. So once this kicks in, just try to find a safe place to kind of like recover and collect yourself. You want to find somewhere preferably high up where the bugs just can't reach you. But once this trauma auto injector does kick in, just keep in mind that's going to have a 30-second cooldown before you can use this up again. So just keep that in mind. You're only going to be like a Superman for only so long before these things wear off. Alright, so the next one is Bloodlust. It says that you regenerate health after every successful kill in close quarters. Now the thing I'm still testing out is, does this only mean it's with your knife? Or with like any kind of like weapon? Honestly, I haven't noticed it working at any specific time because I'm always kind of just moving around a lot. I haven't been able to track it as much as I want to. But the thought of being able to just like regenerate your own health over time is just a really good perk to have. So this means you're gonna be surviving a lot longer and a little bit more easier than the other troopers. But if you do know more about the Bloodlust perk and how that really works, let me know in the comments, because I'd like to know too, and it's good to share information because it will just help everyone become a better player. Alright, so moving on to the last one is mobile training. So what this does is it allows you to climb faster. The melee attacks from the bugs, when it hits you, it won't stop you from sprinting. So, well, you'll notice sometimes, like with the other classes, when they're running and the bug hits them, they're going to kind of stop running for a second. But with mobile training, you'll still get hit by the bug, but your character will just like keep running at full speed, which is really nice. And then when you do get hit by a bug, the movement speed is temporarily increased. So compared to like, the other classes, you're going to be like, moving faster than any of the other classes. So if you know your position is going to get overwhelmed and you're getting attacked, you could just literally run away and you'll most likely survive. Can't say the same for the other troopers though. And that's about it for the perks, so let's just take a second and talk about the grenades. Now again, this is more of like a supporty build, and I'm trying to play into that a little bit more. So that's the reason why I'm not using the other two grenades. So the MX90 grenade, it's an all unreliable grenade I always like to use, but we're not going to use it because we're more concerned about like the scan grenade and the benefits it can provide over time. Same thing with the high explosive grenade. We're not concerned about dealing burst damage. We're concerned about dealing damage over time with the whole scanning thing here with the other gizmos and gadgets. So with a scan grenade, I like using this because anything that gets scanned will take 2 times the damage. So you just toss this out, and then whatever is around it will kind of get scanned initially, and then there'll be like this device, I think, that will continue to scan the area for a certain amount of time. Oh, excuse me. So the grenade, the scan grenade is really handy because it kind of does the same thing like the scan beacon. It'll just like highlight everything, and it's really great for like those low light settings. Like tunnels, pitch black, those kind of things, or even like a weather anomaly mutator. This thing's gonna help not just yourself, but for every other trooper in the area. So I kind of hope that you're seeing kind of like the idea that I'm going for here is like your kind of role as the ranger is like to scout out the terrain, right, and just scan targets for the other troopers. And your role isn't really like I want to fight all the time. Kind of like gathering intelligence on the field. So that's the kind of thing I wanted to go for. I thought it'd be kind of cool to try out, and so far I've been having a lot of fun doing that. So yeah. Again, these are just like my suggestions, like my thoughts and opinions. If you want to try something else out, like I've been saying, feel free to do whatever you like. Alright, so before we end tip number 1, let's go over the special class abilities, alright? So, the first one is the Boost Jet. Now, this one's a little bit different from the Sniper class because we just pull this up real quick. This Jump Jet will just kind of boost you up vertically in the air, whereas with a Ranger, this is more of a horizontal boost. So you can traverse the field a lot quicker than, like, say, some of the other classes, right? So with a boost jet, you get kind of like 2 charges at a time, and when you use one charge up, it takes like a couple seconds for the next one to be used. and then once you use that one up, it takes another couple of seconds to recharge the first charge. And this thing is pretty cool because you can like kind of chain them together, and if you happen to jump and then boost, you can kind of do this cool little triple jump combo thing where you jump, boost, boost, and you're gonna be flying across the field pretty fast, pretty far. So this is pretty cool. You can go forward, you can go backward, you can go left and right. Pretty handy. And the last part here is survivalist. So what this does is, like, I think at a certain point in time, like, you'll just start recovering your health points. I'm not sure the exact numbers on when this kicks in, but keep an eye on your health bar. You'll see that, you know, every once in a while the survivalist thing will kick in and you actually be recovering health, which is pretty handy. This class is like one of the excuse me, is one of the most like durable and longest lasting class that you can play in this game. So if you want something that will, you know, just outlast other troopers, this will be your class. All right. Sorry, just been doing a lot of talking today, and you know, for work, and it just absolutely destroys my voice every time. So apologies if it sounds like I got a frog in my throat. Okay, so taking a look at my notes, and we're about ready to move into tip number 2. But for that, I'm just going to put on a little gameplay video for you, so you're not just staring at this screen the whole time. So give me just a second and I'll see you back there on the field. Alright folks, welcome back. Here's the video as promised, so please enjoy the gameplay video while I discuss the remaining tips for the video. Okay, so tip number 2 is going to be about the boost jet ability. The first thing I want to just say is that if you're going up a steep slope like the ones you can see a lot on Valaka, those slopes is going to kind of interfere with your ability to use the boost jet, because remember, the boost jet is more about horizontal distance and not vertical distance like the jump jets for the sniper. So that's the thing you need to just kind of be aware of when you're playing as a ranger. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the boost jet will allow you to move faster than any other class except for, like, you know, maybe the sniper. What you just saw here, you know, that boost jet, it goes pretty far on just, you know, one charge. And if you really want to get somewhere fast, you can like chain them together. So just, you know, hit your class ability button twice, and it'll take you very far. And this is really good if you like you're playing on, you know, for example, Agni Prime, and you need to cross one of those annoying lava rivers. That'll be a great use of that that ability. And also, if you're playing on a game mode where it's like Arc or Advanced and Secure, where you gotta get the ore and the gas to the bunker or like the base, right? You're gonna want to, you know, take those materials and just use your boost jet to get you back to where you need to deliver that stuff. You're going to be the best class to be handling those materials because of the boost jet. It doesn't really slow you down if you're carrying the ore and the gas. And another thing I like to mention is that if you're going to be playing on Hive Hunt, you're going to really want to just get into there and just go right for that egg cluster thing that you have to blow up, right? So just go in there with your boost jets and just set the charge, and you can just quickly and easily and even safely get out of there with a second charge. The Ranger will excel pretty well in Hive Hunt. To me, it kind of sounds like the Rangers kind of go all around good class, so I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun playing as a Ranger. And the cool thing about the boost jet is that you can literally like outpace like a lot of bugs. Even on one charge, you're gonna be like, you know, pretty far from the bugs. It's like maybe 2 to 3 lengths of how large a bug is. That's how far you're gonna approximately travel on the field. Another cool little thing that I found out is like if you use your boost jet and kind of like halfway through your flight, you can turn left or right and you'll kind of just change direction and continue traveling in that direction with enough momentum where like you can kind of take a 90-degree turn. It might get a little finicky and you might need to practice that, but I found that you can do it, and then it's like pretty nifty, especially if you're running with like gas or ore and you need to make that sharp turn around the corner to get to the bunker. So that's kind of a cool little tip I thought could you know, help out other Rangers. And I believe that's all I had for the boost jet kind of gameplay tip. So let's now move into gameplay tip number 3. Kind of going more in depth about the support role. So the first thing you want to do, because you have such a high I believe it was like stagger value? Stagger or stun, either one. It'll stop the bugs from kind of moving for a second. But because you have that that value so much higher on the carbine compared to the other weapons in your arsenal, you're going to be able to buy troopers enough time that when you hit a bug, they're going to have enough time to like back off and like kind of like retreat to safety. So keep an eye out for troopers that are getting overwhelmed by bugs. You want to do your best to like kind of disrupt their attack pattern, and hopefully that couple of seconds will buy them enough time to get to a better location. Alright, so the next thing I want to go over about how to be more of a support role in this class is just using your ability, well, not your abilities, but your utilities as often as you can. So what that means is you gotta use your scan beacon, and you gotta use the scan pulse whenever you can, basically, because those will help other troopers know what's around them, so that they can pick off elite bugs or like other targets that need to pretty much die right away. So, you know, for example, gunners, tigers, bombardiers, If you're close enough, you can do a scan of an Inferno bug or a Grenadier. So, once those things get scanned, they're going to take a lot more damage than normal, so it's important that you kind of move around and just be aware of your surroundings and your environment. Again, playing back into my other videos, your environmental awareness. Just kind of be on your feet and keep an eye on things and try to scan bugs that will pose a threat to troopers. So one of the big threats to a trooper when they're kind of clustered together are bombardier bugs. Those things like to dive bomb onto troopers from pretty much from on top, vertically. But they do have a few seconds between landing and charging up before they explode. And in that time, troopers can pretty much kill it. But when the ground gets crowded with other troopers and bugs, it's going to be kind of hard to see them. So scanning them with your gadgets and gizmos is going to make it easier to see where they are. So it'll make it easier for you to kill the bombardiers. And just another thing about the bombardier bugs, if a trooper is close enough to them, it's gonna one-shot them, so if you can kill them before they detonate, that's gonna like help save lives. And it's gonna help your team not burn through the reinforcement tickets. Alright, let's move into gameplay tip number 4. How to kind of solo duel 1 to 3 arachnids at a time. So if you happen to find yourself in a situation where you're kind of alone, it's going to happen, and you're facing down like 1 to 3 arachnids, what you want to do is keep facing the bug and then shoot at them with a carbine. The stun, stagger, whatever that thing is, I keep forgetting. But whatever you do, you just keep shooting at them. They're gonna kind of like not rush you. You can spread the damage out and just like shoot at whichever one's closest to you, or you can try to like concentrate on one bug at a time. But during this whole time, what you want to do is keep facing them, keep backtracking, and keep boosting away from them. If you do this, the boost jet is going to keep you out of harm's way. So just keep shooting at them, rinse and repeat until the bugs are dead. So good to keep in mind if you happen to find yourself being like chased down by 2 or 3 bugs and no one else is there to help you. This is also kind of a good tactic to play if you're trying to just harass an Inferno bug. So keep in mind that if you're next to an Inferno bug, there's like a certain distance where it's not going to shoot like the fireball anymore, and it's just kind of like backtrack a little. So just keep pace next to the Inferno bug, and you can buy your team enough time for them to, for example, get out of a burning bunker and start moving up the field. So that's kind of a good tactic to try to use, because you want to help support the team as much as possible. Alright, moving on to the last gameplay tip. This is tip number 5. So if you're more of like a solo person when it comes to extraction, this is going to help you out a lot. So sometimes you'll find that everyone else around you is dead, right? There's no one else alive, or there's going to be 1 or 2 people left alive. not enough to survive the run back to the dropship. So what you need to do is that after you reloaded everything and you got the ammo from the ammo crates, just keep an eye out for where the dropship's going to be, and then as soon as you know where it's going to land, just start running towards the drop zone or the dropship in the landing zone. And you know, just constantly spam the boost jet ability because you're going to be out there by yourself and the bugs are going to be attacking you first, which I think I did here. Can't quite remember, but it's really good if you just want to get to the dropship and secure the victory, because if you can extract successfully, you'll just get more XP points, so you don't have to like farm as hard as you normally would. And you do get less points for not being able to extract, right? So use your boost jet as often as you can. Try not to double boost jet, because you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you just happen to boost into a crowd of bugs. Always keep one available, let the first charge recharge, and then use up the second one. So do that, and if bugs are after you, like they're right on your tail, just employ the tactic from tip number 4 and just have your back to the dropship and boost backwards towards it while you're facing and shooting the bugs. That should buy you enough time to get to the dropship and secure the victory. So again, it's a really good tactic to use if you know that everyone's pretty much all dead. So that's something I found that has been useful, especially if it's on, you know, Agony Prime. Everything's out to kill you there. So yeah, just use those tips and hopefully that'll get you to the drop zone, the drop ship. And this video wasn't too bad, but most times it's gonna drop you across that lava river and hardly anybody survives that. So if you can, you know, double boost over that, and you'll know that you've at least secured the victory for everyone else, and everyone can get a couple extra points for the XP. So that's about it for the Ranger class. That's my 5 Ranger gameplay tips. I hope that can help you improve your gameplay. If I missed anything, you can always chime in on the comments and, you know, let me know. Catch you next time.